So, Ashley Moran, you set the stage. We just talked about driving in flooded streets, bad weather. Then you throw in that added element of construction projects, which there are a bunch going on. Lafayette, Acadiana trying to move and shake, and we applaud that. But boy, when you throw in that weather element, it gets a lot more dangerous, a lot more fun.
Yes, and it's a whole thing because we always say, oh, the projects is aimed to be completed in this month and this year, and then it's always weather permitting. If we had the weather that we had last summer, which I'm glad we don't because that was horrible from a living standpoint, but construction people were loving it. All these construction projects were finishing early. They were blowing and going. They could work all hours.
But now we had the asterisk, weather permitting.
Yes, and now we've just had so many rainstorms, and it really affects different operations differently. Asphalt's a bit more resilient in that because they just can't have standing water with asphalt.
Right.
If they have rain planned in the forecast, they'll usually just stop, cut a joint, kind of wait and see, if they can come back and resume the operations. With concrete, as anybody who's made concrete can tell, it's a bit more complicated. Again, you can't have the standing water. Actually, water is not as bad if it's like just wet and it's not planned, rain is not planned in the forecast later because you already have to spray down before you pour the concrete. But you can't have rain later on in the forecast unless you, cover it with Visclean or some other kind of material because obviously if it gets wet while you're waiting for the concrete to set, it can affect the mix, it'll dilute it, it won't be what it's supposed to be because concrete, it's all that aggregate with the water and stuff. So it's very interesting how these two things are affected. So you have to look at the timing. A lot of operations, especially for asphalt, if they have afternoon storms, they'll do it in the morning. So they'll try to avoid those kind of things.
Sounds like you need to have some discussions with that guy over there in the weather department.
It's a big thing because they have to make all this stuff at the plant later on. They have a construction company that's put in money. They have to plan all those trucks and stuff coming. So they work highly with the weather forecast.
Traffic Talk again next week with Ashley Moran. Stay with us. We're talking cookies very shortly.